Well, hello, Calvary. We are so excited to show you all that the Lord has allowed us to do within the past year. Last year at the annual meeting, we shared with you the hopes and dreams we have for the Media Suite, and finally, we get to show you what's been going on. So, right now, we're at the family entrance, and we're going to go ahead and start walking toward the Media Suite. And now we're walking right past my office, as well as a back door into the worship center, and we're heading right on into the tech room of the Media Suite. Now we're so excited to see all that God is going to do with this room. It used to be 3 individual different closets. This one used to be a little bit more compact than it is now, and we expanded this room in order to not just have audio position here, like people like Hayden, but also have video and media so that we can produce everything in one spot in the same room. And now we're in the studio. Hey guys.
Hey, Addison. It's great to have you.
It's good to be here.
Well, this is a really exciting day. Today we're talking about the Media Suite and its grand opening, our first use of this amazing addition to the church. And as a part of Calvary, our legacy shows that our commitment to the gospel is not just here within these walls, but it's also extending outside. I believe it was first that we started with radio. Is that right, Chuck?
Yeah, actually that is. In 1954. In fact, in 1955, Pastor Denton Riley, the pastor at the time, in his annual report shared that the church had been approached and asked to put their services on radio. And so that was the beginning of us reaching out with broadcasts. I can remember as a kid being here and watching Pastor Gillespie at the time, and he was in the front. And when the offering was being taken, he would speak into a microphone that he had that would send a special message to the radio audience. So it's been a really important part of who we are for a long time.
That's pretty amazing. And from that time on, we've transitioned some of that communication. There was a time then we were producing our sermons on video discs so people could take them home, later to transition to live stream from the worship center so that people can engage from a home audience or
Don't
on
forget the
demand.
cassette tapes.
Or the cassette tapes.
What's a cassette tape?
Exactly. For those of you who are watching, if you know what that is. So it's really exciting to see how over the years, even though the technology has changed and our approach has, the legacy and the commitment and the messaging has remained the same. And so we're going to be seeing this room used from 2 primary different uses, that in the live stream production and that in some of what we're calling premiere production or additional offerings beyond. So I'd be curious if, Addison, you'd be willing to share what does that live stream use of this room look like? What are some things we're anticipating and dreaming about?
Yeah, definitely. Well, for starters, around the time that I got here, we had just been putting in a separate audio room in order for the live stream to have its own audio feed, in order just to raise the quality of that, because before that we were just using whatever audio was in the worship center, which wasn't always the best. So just in my time here, we've continued trying to make that better and better, and this is just the next step in continuation in that, where we're actually going to be able to not only bring in the audio and have a little bit of a bigger space to be able to mix in, but also be able to have our video as well as our media also from this room, meaning that we can all communicate with each other during the live stream. We try as much as we can to not be a distraction to what the Lord is trying to do. And if we were all talking production lingo to each other in the background of the sermon or the worship, it probably wouldn't be as effective. So I'm excited just to have a separate room for that so we can talk. But on top of that, that's the tech side of things in the other room. But this room that we're in right now, I'm really excited about the possibility of maybe live hosting, kind of what the pastor did during the offering was being passed, that while a video or something may be playing in the worship center or the countdown at the beginning of the service, that there would be some people in this room live streaming, talking just to the online audience to maybe summarize last week's thing, just say thanks for being there and just have more engagement with them. And that should allow us to be able to minister really well to those people online. So I'm really excited for all that this room has to offer to what our current live stream is, and just make it just that much better.
And that's a significant offering, because what we've been talking about is ways that how can we not only shepherd the people who attend here in person, but those who are able to attend online, whether that's snowbirds who are down in Florida or other places, to be able to keep engagement with us while they're gone, as well as people who may have just the need to be at home or shut-ins that give us the opportunity to minister to them as well. And over the last couple of years, we've seen a significant rise in the number of views of what that looks like. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, well, on top of live stream stuff, which we see probably over the course of a week, probably 500 views, anywhere from 50 normally live to people going back and watching the sermons, and that has hit even as high as 1,000 at times, which is a significant increase. But also from those, we've been making YouTube shorts and things such as that have been going and hitting upwards of 5,000 as well, depending on who's preaching. But and how good the video was, but it's been really neat to see just the engagement online and understanding too that if someone wants to attend our church, a lot of people are not going to walk through the doors first because we have so many offerings online. So instead, they're going to stay in the comfort of their own home and watch our online service, and that will be, for many people, their first introduction to the church. So the best that we can make that, and the most inviting and the most welcoming that can be, as well as engaging, would invite them to be a part of the body here and shepherd them well, like you alluded to.
Absolutely, and that's part of the use of this room, is that the significance is it will be an added enhancement to our online or digital engagement, but it's not going to replace our physical. And so we don't see this room as necessarily transitioning us to a satellite church. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think that's really important. I really appreciate, what you've shared, Addison, and I think one of the things that excites me the most about our online presence is that it allows people to stay caught up. Before, it was like if you missed a Sunday and you'd missed the sermon, you weren't able to engage again. But now we have people who are not being able to be here, but they can catch it during the week. And I know I've done that myself as I've been out of town, and so that becomes really important. But then also, I've talked to a lot of people who are watching the message a couple of times to really lean in on some things that they heard or things that the Lord spoke to them about. So it becomes really significant. And I think the YouTube Shorts, for me, has really been interesting. I never even understood what all this was, and I'm not sure I still do. But that's why I'm so grateful you guys are here and the production team that we have. But the way that people in the church can use those short little clips from the messages to be able to pass those. And it is interesting sometimes, Addison, as you shared, how many different people look at those, and we get people from all over the world who make a comment on them. And if in any way we can help somebody know Jesus, that's why we're here.
And some of those that are reaching out and watching our stuff are some of our global partners as well. They get to look in and see, and that's been a really cool part of me seeing all of our global partners around the world be able to tune in and still stay connected while they're serving wherever they're at. So.
Absolutely. And so it gives us great excitement to be able to step in and continue to enhance that. And at this point, we've really talked about those people who may be engaging us through that online presence, but there's going to be a significant addition that we are really excited for in the expansion of ministry and the expansion of equipping as we continue to find ways of how do we come alongside the congregation as we come to know Christ so that we can equip and send them into their week in new and exciting ways. And so I know this has brought a lot of excitement for you and some new visions or dreams that you have for that. I'd love to hear more about what's on your heart.
Well, what gets so exciting about this is, one of my greatest strengths is ideation. And so, man, just having all these ideas of what could happen as we take the opportunity this affords to us. And I think one of the things I'm most excited about is the way that we can reach into the home of every person in the church. When we try to have workshops or Bible studies or things here, it's just so hard in today's day and age. Family's so busy, there's so many different things. And because a big part of what we're about is helping people to be able to make Christ known as they're in the community, in some ways, calling them to come to church for an event or a study or something actually takes them away from that. So what I'm really looking forward to is how can we provide training opportunities that are available and equipping opportunities that are available in a person's home that they could invite friends over, or they could do them as a family, or those kinds of things. And then I'm really excited about jumping into perhaps a podcast and determining what that could look like, and how I could, as I invite people in, to have conversations about things that are questions for people, things about theology, things about doctrine, things about where are we at in the world? What does this look like? And to be able to speak to that, I'm really excited to have an opportunity to do that. That's a little different than anything I've ever done before.
Yeah, and it's going to be new for us as well. And that's the cool thing is I love the way that we preach through the scriptures, and we are devoted to the style of preaching that we are going verse by verse to keep God's word as the priority. And at times, there's cultural or contextual conversations that are happening today that, given our commitment there, we're looking for additional ways to enhance or open up that opportunity so people can step into this conversation. That's what I'm hearing?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
And that's exciting for people, whether they're at home on a commute or wherever they may be going. This now becomes a new accessibility that we previously didn't have.
Especially if we can bring in people who have even greater knowledge about these things, than anybody else. And so to be able to have those conversations, really cool.
And so as we brainstorm and dream over those, we're all talking as the rest of the shepherding team and pastors and leaders within the church of saying, what are those? Are those Bible study materials like we see on Right Now Media, but having it in our own context? Podcasts or other video training sessions? It's going to be a really expansive. And one additional thing is we plan on recording more of Calvary Music Collective in here as well. This room is going to be accessible for that also. So
I'm looking forward to that. I've been working on some songs, Addison.
I look forward to hearing those.
Yes, riveting.
well, and I know we could probably talk about so many different opportunities that this is going into, and so we're also praying and saying, what is this room to be used for? How can we best serve and care for the people here at Calvary and beyond?
The one thing we know for sure is why we're doing this. Because the world needs Jesus.
Absolutely.
And that's why.
Amen.
Amen.